Joining us now, Senator David Perdue, former Reebok and Dollar General CEO and a close friend of President Trump. I don't know if you're you live in Washington now. I don't know if you're a Washington Nationals fan or not, but that was on at the same time. So you got an excuse, Senator, if you're not up to speed on everything that went down last night at the debate, or did you watch it?
Of course not. I had more important things to do, like watching the NLCS that if you blinked your eyes, you missed it this year. But no, I had more important things to do, Joe. But look, looking at what they've said, this is incredible. It's so obvious that these people have no clue of what capital formation is all about. What they're talking about with this wealth tax and all the other things they're trying to perpetrate would absolutely kill capital formation. It sounds a little bit to me like Lyndon Johnson's promises with the Great New Deal, back in 1965, where they said, look, give us all your money and we'll solve all the problems. And he stole the surplus from Social Security to do that, and all those investments pretty much failed.
I haven't done the actual math. I've seen it done, and I don't know if I trust it, but adding up all of Bernie's plans, and since I haven't done the math, I'll just tell you it was well into the tens of trillions. It was almost 100 trillion, not quite, but I don't know whether Bernie is going to start moving up again in the popularity contest or not, but it's not a whole lot different from some of the other plans or some of the other candidates' plans being bandied about.
No, well, look, there's no reality in anything they're saying. I mean, the socialized medicine proposal that they're talking about would cost now, Bernie says, over $4 trillion a year. Put that in perspective, Joe, we only collect about $2.2 trillion in income taxes. And the other thing, the Green New Deal that they're not talking about now all of a sudden would cost $9 trillion a year is the best number I can find on that. And the only way I can compare that for your viewers is that the entire adjusted gross income of America, not the tax, but the adjusted gross income, the total earnings of America is about $9 trillion.
Yeah. I also, just to switch gears, we'll come back to trade and economic issues, but I did see Lindsey Graham yesterday just making the case that the Senate at this point, notwithstanding something else, I guess, coming out from this investigation or inquiry, whatever you want to call it, but that the Senate, you may not lose a single senator, I think was his prediction in terms of Republican senators. You might not get all the Democrats. So his point was to Speaker Pelosi, just don't go through this. It's not going to happen. I think actually Andrew Yang alluded to that last night too, that it's a fantasy if you think it's actually there's going to be a removal. Is that, would you view it that way? Of
course it's a fantasy. This has nothing to do with impeachment. They're not going to get there. I mean, they won't even call a vote to have a formal inquiry. This is the first time in U.S. history that the Speaker of the House, who broached the impeachment issue, did not call for a formal inquiry. Why is that so important? Well, this is a show trial. This is nothing but one side trying to drum up something to counter the president with. They'll never get to that vote, in my opinion, and it's dead on arrival in the Senate. So, no, there's nothing here that has risen to the level of impeachment. We all know that, and most people in America are going to realize that when they see how shallow all these arguments are that the Democrats are making right now.
But if you keep, the leaks, you keep going forward, interview people, leak it to the Times or the Washington Post, what the witnesses were saying, and then public opinion starts to turn, and then you get pressure on the Republican senators. Perhaps is that the MO?
Well, I think, I trust the common sense of America. We saw that in 2016. I saw it in my race in 2014 in Georgia. People know that this town is broken, Joe, and this is one manifestation of it where the Speaker of the House will not put USMCA on the table and let us vote on it, but will waste all this time up here on a pipe dream that is nothing more than political partisanship.
Senator, even if you don't believe what's taken place is an impeachable offense, are you troubled at all by any of the actions either that the president's taken or perhaps what Rudy Giuliani, did or has done? Obviously, two of his associates have already been indicted.
Well, what I'm really troubled by is the fact that the media never talks about the other side of it as well. I mean, corruption is one of the reasons why, even under the Obama administration, we withheld funding from Ukraine.
Senator, but that's exactly the point, Senator.
Let me finish.
That's the point. The point is that you've made lots of statements about the character of the previous president, about the character of others, when you've seen issues that have troubled you. And what I'm asking you is, putting aside the impeachment piece of this, to me, if you look at some of the other people that you've talked about over the years where there's been an issue of character, or at least that things that have troubled you, does any of this trouble you at all?
Let's get the record. Yeah, let's get the record straight up. I never questioned the character of President Obama. What I questioned were his policies that absolutely failed. What I question here is why we can't get at the true issue that we're talking about around the edges here, and that's corruption. That's what that telephone call was really all about, if you look at it. So no, I mean, this is nothing different than anything else that's happened. Yes, I'm troubled that we have corruption between the United States and Ukraine, but it didn't just start in the last 18 months.
All right, Senator, we talk more about the, as we get closer to find out who the nominee is, we can look at the actual economic proposals, and then we got to handicap the chances of anything really happening if the Republicans hold the Senate. So see a lot of Democrats say that, oh, they don't mean it. It'll be fine. They're not going to do any of that stuff. That's why I'm comfortable. Anyway, thank you, Senator.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, we'll see you.